拉米，这就做拉我操。这样，没拉米。Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. ما تزوج كرادي ترى تلانا يا صار كونسونا شانو这些人不去参加参与小朋友都是那这个工作节有了呀他在大国在大国这大国要嘛哪怕女呢这个你是这个有嘛ale mega phone son akale chen sil da go ta jil da go ne la go
Yeah, he knows, but he will move over. Yeah. But just make sure.
Okay. 다 가르치 되네. 나는 뭐 하지? 나 다 알고 가서. 그다음에 또 왔다 또 뭐 보는 도마 동어 그래.
도마 동이야 그래.
전부 도마 동어 그래.
근데 가르치 그래.
예 맞죠.
Oh, okay. Then I Yeah. Okay. Actually, yeah.
So some members, just a quick announcement for just those of us who are here. Have some really nice offerings that are coming up. Kempo is going to do a class tonight at 6 o'clock on mudras for the Chakrasamvara Practice. So if you want to know more about the mudras, come here at 6 o'clock. He'll also answer questions too for an hour. And then also Drupon will be offering questions and answers tomorrow afternoon. So we have a box here, and please make sure your questions are about the practice. And that will be tomorrow afternoon. So start dropping your questions in there. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. non è vero. Om Kendra Rohe Hom Hom Pi Om Subhava Shuddha Arva Dharma Subhava Shuddha Ham.
From the state of emptiness arises awe, from which arise skull cups, each containing a hong. The syllables melt and turn into inconceivable offering clouds, undefiled nectar in essence, and a variety of distinct features in appearance. Om Vajra Om Vajra Om Vajra Rojana Om Vajra Padaya Om Vajra Bhubaya Om Vajra Dubaya Om Vajra Alogaya Om Bajrangandava Om Bajranivaya Om Bajrashata Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I unceasingly take refuge. In the Yogin, secret mantra, and Dakini, the embodiments of the three wheels, and in the male and female spiritual warriors, I unceasingly take refuge. For the sake of all sentient beings, I will become Haruka and establish all sentient beings in the supreme state of Haruka. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I unceasingly take refuge. In the Yogin, secret mantra, and Dakini, the embodiments of the three wheels, and in the male and female spiritual warriors, I unceasingly take refuge. For the sake of all sentient beings, I will become Haruka and establish all sentient beings in the supreme state of Haruka. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I unceasingly take refuge. In the Yogin, secret mantra, and Dakini, the embodiments of the three wheels, and the male and female spiritual warriors, I unceasingly take refuge. For the sake of all sentient beings, I will become Haruka and establish all sentient beings in the supreme state of Haruka. Shri is the non-dual primordial wisdom. He is the emptiness of causes and so forth. Ru is free from coming together, and Ka is nowhere abiding. I am glorious Haruka, the cause of benefit and happiness for all sentient beings. Shri Haruka Ham. I appear as the great glorious Chakrasamvara. My 5 aggregates are the 5 Buddha families. My 5 elements are the 5 mothers, and my sense sources are the bodhisattvas. From the life force syllable Hong at my heart emerges 4 Sumbani mantras, black, green, red, and yellow. They emanate into the 4 directions and transform into an indestructible Vajra fence, ground, web, tent, canopy, and a dome of wisdom flames, becoming a vast protection sphere. Solid, secure, and utterly terrifying, it is impregnable to obstructors, even to Brahma.
Pragara Om Bai Om Baza Panjara Om Bai Om Bazan Badana Om Kai Om Baz Sharan Zala Jan San Jan Om Bazan Zala Analanga Om.
The light radiating from the Hong at the heart of myself, appearing as Haruka, invites the Guru and the gathering of Chakrasamvara deities into the space before me. Vajra Samma.
Chakrasamvara mandala be one share Cakrasamvara agamba de zazova one share Cakrasamvara padem bade zazova one share Cakrasamvara Bebe Bade Zazova One Shire Cakrasamvara Divine Bade Zazova One Shire Cakrasamvara Aloga Bade Zazova One Shire Cakrasamvara Gandhi Bade Zazova One Shire Cakrasamvara Nivede Bade Zazova One Shire Cakrasamvara Shabda Bade Zazova bezarase hoimbe oim bezalase hoimbe oim bazangerde hoimbe oim bezanerde hoimbe oim bezarbebe hoimbe oim bezardube hoimbe oim bezadubam hoimbe oim bazangande hoimbe oim rubam beza hoimbe oim rasam beza hoimbe oim bezavajem beza hoimbe oim dharma dadam beza hoimbe oim benza amerda benza amam samandra savarana samaye oim sarvadat anurangana beza zoba amagam.
I take refuge in the three jewels and confess each and every wrongdoing. I rejoice in the virtues of beings and will hold the Buddha's awakening in mind. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly until attaining enlightenment. I give rise to Bodhichitta in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. Having given rise to the Supreme Mind of Bodhichitta, I welcome all beings. I will practice the Supreme Bodhisattva conduct of acting with kindness. May I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I take refuge in the three jewels and confess each and every wrongdoing. I rejoice in the virtues of beings and will hold the Buddha's awakening in mind. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly until attaining enlightenment. I give rise to Bodhichitta in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. Having given rise to the Supreme Mind of Bodhichitta, I welcome all sentient beings. I will practice the Supreme Bodhisattva conduct of acting with kindness. May I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I take refuge in the three jewels and confess each and every wrongdoing. I rejoice in the virtues of beings and will hold the Buddha's awakening in mind. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly until attaining enlightenment. I give rise to Bodhichitta in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. Having given rise to the Supreme Mind of Bodhichitta, I welcome all sentient beings. I will practice the Supreme Bodhisattva conduct of acting with kindness. May I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. The field of accumulation dissolves into me. My body gradually dissolves into the awareness Hong, which then remains in space in the form of the nada string. From the luminous and empty natural state of all phenomena arises an intensely blazing protection sphere of vajra ground, fence, tent, web, canopy, and masses of fire. At its center arises space, wind, fire, water, earth, and Mount Meru, upon which arises a variegated lotus and a crossed vajra. At the center of that arises a broom, from which arises a great immeasurable palace made of various precious substances, brilliant and complete in its characteristics. Outside are spheres of lotuses and vajras, masses of light, and the charnel grounds. Inside the palace, in the center of a multicolored lotus, is a sun disk with the black Bhaira and Kalarati as its seat, upon which is a mandala of sun and moon, in which the white vowels and red consonants. In an instant, the nada of my awareness enters it and transforms into a vajra with a brilliant blue Hong at its center. Light emanating from it makes offerings to the Buddhas and benefits beings. The light gathers back and dissolves into the seed syllable. The moon, sun, seed syllable, and implement transform, and I arise as the transcendent conqueror Chakrasamvara, outshining the radiance of a clear sky. I have one face, 3 eyes, and bared fangs. My hair knot is adorned with jeweled, dried skulls bound by a garland of vajras along my hairline. The top of my hair knot is adorned with a jewel, the front with a crossed vajra, and the left with a crescent moon. Holding a Vajra and a bell in my hands, I am embracing the consort. With my left leg bent, I stand on Bhairava's head, and my outstretched right leg presses down between Kalarati's breasts. I bear the 6 charnel gown adornments, a loose tiger skin skirt, and a garland of 50 freshly severed heads around my neck, and I display the 9 moods of dance. On my lap is the coral-colored Vajra Yogini, with 1 face and 3 eyes. Half her hair flows down loosely, and the other half is bound up with 5 dried skulls. Embracing the neck of the father, her left hand offers a skull cup filled with nectar. The right hand, in threatening mudra, fiercely brandishes a curved knife with a Vajra handle. Her left leg is outstretched, and her right leg is wrapped around the father. Blissful and endowed with the youth of a 16-year-old, her beauty is extraordinary. She is naked and delights in blood, wears a garland of 50 dried skulls, and is endowed with the 5 mudras. The father and mother are adorned with the major and minor marks and silken scarves. Like the fire at the end of time, their blissful union of method and wisdom is magnificent. In front is blue Dakini, to the left is green Lama, behind is red Krandaroha, and to the right is yellow Rupini. Each has 1 face, 3 eyes, menacing laughter, bared fangs, hair flying loose, a crown ornament of dried skulls, and a garland of 50 dried skulls around the neck. In the right hand they each brandish aloft in space a curved knife, and in their left they hold to their hearts skulls filled with blood. A Khatvanga is tucked between the crook of the left arm. Their bodies are naked and sensuous, and they are endowed with the 5 symbols. With the right leg outstretched and the left leg bent, they dance majestically upon corpses. In the 4 intermediate directions upon moon disk are vases filled with the 5 nectars, and topped by skull cups filled with the 5 meats. At the forehead of each deity on a moon disk is a white Om, and at the throat a lotus is a red Ah. At the heart, in the center of a cross Vajra, is a blue Hong. At the father's heart are white Om Ha, and at the forehead yellow Namahi. At the crown, Svaha Hu. At both shoulders, black Valsat He. At both eyes, crimson Hong Hong Ho. And at all limbs, green Pe Ham. At the navel of the mother is a red Om Vam. At the heart is blue Ham Yom. At the mouth, white Hrim Mom. At the head, yellow Hrim Hrim. And at the crown, green Hong Hong. And at all limbs, gray Pet Pet. Pam. The light radiating from the Hong at my heart invites the Viras and Yoginis of the 10 directions and the empowerment deities into the space before me.
Dharma
wisdom and commitment beings become indivisible.
Yoga Shada Sarvadama Yoga Shada Sarva Tata Gata Beginza Dharma.
There it is. Having been supplicated, the empowerment deities hold aloft vases filled with nectar and proclaim, just as the Buddhas have bathed upon birth, we shall bathe you with the pure waters of the gods. Saying this, they bestow the empowerment with the nectar, which fills my body and purifies all defilements, transforming me into the supreme nature of great bliss. The empowerment deities then dissolve into me. From the overflowing nectar arises a crown ornament of Akshobhya on the principal lord, Vairochana on the mother, and Ratnasambhava on the 4 Dakinis.
Padem Badeza Zova Jere Gasa Barevar Pube Badeza Zova Jere Gasa Barevar Dubam Badeza Zova Jere Gasa Barevar Alogam Badeza Zova Jere Gasa Barevar Ginde Badeza Zova Jere Gasa Barevar Nevede Badeza Zova Jere Gasa Barevar Shabda Badeza Zova. I offer to the mouths of the kind root guru and all the glorious holy lineage gurus.
Om Awo, Om Lame Om Awo, Om Gendra Roye Om Awo, Om Rupane Om Awo, Om Sarva Dharma Palai Om Awo, Om Sarva Tata Engata Anarangan Meza Sobhava Armago.
Om, homage to the conqueror, the courageous Lord, I bow to you, who blazes like the fire at the end of a great kalpa, whose locks are bound up at the crown, whose face is terrifying, fiercely bearing fangs, whose hands, gleaming with 1,000 lights, raise a battle axe and a lasso, and hold a spear and a khatvanga. You who wear a tiger skin robe, whose smoky color resembles the great darkness. Om, homage to the transcendent conqueress Vajravarahi, to the supreme mother of the three worlds, invincible awareness consort, who destroys all fear of evil spirits with your great Vajra nature. To you with controlling eyes, who remain like a Vajra seat unconquered by others, who neutralizes even poison, wrathful, fierce lady bearing your fangs, terrifier, annihilator who severs completely, who conquers all adversaries. All victorious one, conquering those who make us dull, rigid, and confused. To Vajravarahi, the great yogini, powerful lady who fulfills all desires, I bow. Homage to the 4 heart yoginis, who represent the 4 activities of pacifying, enriching, overpowering, and suppressing. The 4 placements of mindfulness of body, feeling, mind, and phenomena, and the 4 levels of joy. Joy, supreme joy, beyond joy, and co-emergent joy. Homage to inseparable method and wisdom, the 4 Tathagatas, such as unchanging one, abiding in intermediate directions and the form of offerings, the 4 vases with 4 skull cups filled with nectar. Inside my body, appearing as Haruka, are the 3 channels and 4 chakras. At my crown is a white hum, at my throat a white om, at my heart a blue hung, and at my navel a red ah. From the ah, wisdom fire blazes forth, burning away the syllables of the 3 chakras. From the hum, white drops descend, when restoring the 3 syllables, blissful warmth blazes forth. In the hung at my heart, from the hung at my heart, a mantra garland emerges. It descends through the pathway of the Vajra, enters the lotus of the mother, and rises through her central channel. It emerges from her mouth, enters again into my mouth, and dissolves into the seed syllable at my heart. In this way, it circles continuously.
真的咱个当初点叫话简多，我在考讲的咱点叫那个主他，点叫就当那出去有的，那就送有的，我在连接有的哇，这那个有，我听那个主他，这是主他新出对吧？是那主他坚定对送忙不有的哇，听那新出对吧？是那对对的，我的是对对。洋人入世是洋人不太入世吧？是的，人不太是不入世吧？写起话说是没的，我说的哇。
So this sadhana that we're practicing for the practice of the generation stage of Chakrasamvara is the exceedingly concise sadhana of Chakrasamvara's 5 deities. So there are different versions of Chakrasamvara with different numbers of deities. So there's the 60 deity Chakrasamvara practice, 13 deity, the co-emergent, and here we have the practice with the 5 deities. And so as it says, it's an exceedingly concise sadhana. So in terms of the different lengths of, extensive and concise, this is a concise sadhana, which is called the utter illumination of the innermost essence.
Tene da tinjo tere ma sa chambo tela tumbo sumzei ke tumo sumzei zonkor gombane sida ngarang su zonkor gumya arwa da ti tera jin do nga jin do om subawa sheda sarwa dan ma subawa shodo sheda de jida yong sta be chu tamji yong sta ba ten yu sa wa nga was wa te chi wa ti ne mo da zonkor tere wa zonkor te jida da
So Yongsu Daba Chu Tamje Dang Nga.
Da jeli yung ge ta ji sang mina te khonang ga to ji dem cho khonang ga yung ge wa nga ti thong da te da chu tam ji yong sta be chu tam ji yong sta ba ten lu sa nga was
Ngao.
ya da te di ta zong ko te wa wa tang bu ta jian ran se gu mya jian de wa wa ta jian ran se gu mya zo de qian bei zong ko nong de is ka shi na ji jian zong gong song wo de ka shi zong wo se na ta da ti sa jia zai la ta so so tang bu ya li du ta ran ro sa jia zai cham de nian zhang wei na ri chu zai la so cham de jian na ta ra ya tang bu zhuo ne de ne rang ke ta da cham ni je ta so cham ba zo ta cham ba ta ya bu gom ta ru qi na ti ke te zang yu chuo te la sa de jian ran se yin ba 我在今年是我们强尼节去，如果他们去强呢，真的在块西当年是做没用的，我在成都用个的也种的，我今年对他长波是前辈去的，中国人找我们安啥的，我在你把这这张图卡那看，超越美国公司，我做我在宁节啥，宁节有了，超我在宁节南巴下个了，我在宁节去中国公司去，我真的在去挺久的了，在泡沫公司见多，我在唐波在工作强求先。 唐伯尼坡在工作强求先公亚去，你把泡沫在他这样子同他们强求先去，中国的公亚，我曾经去对的中国的，咱个说公车呢有啊，中原可乐没用强求先是中了，中原可乐呢也有，但在他公亚的俺的呀，那咱们这毛不有了，中国公亚Dorje ra国公亚的毛不有了，你呢Dorje ra完咱们这没碰中公亚毛不有了中国。 听到了，也许在他强求先，特别是中原可乐没种强求先，中有点工钱呢。我听对中国特的，他中国的其他。
So the first thing that we have in the sadhana is the visualization of the 3-layered protection sphere of Tummo. And so this is the protection sphere. So we're generating the protection sphere. And this begins with, of course, the Svabhava mantra. And so what is kind of included, or the meaning included in the Svabhava mantra, is the, the true nature of all phenomena is complete purity, and I am also that nature. I am the nature of the complete purity of all phenomena. And so first, we generate the visualization. So the protection sphere is visualizing the entire universe or the environment as the great compassionate one, Chenrezig. And so what this means is that the protection sphere is the essence of great compassion, great love and compassion and bodhicitta. And actually, Lord Jigten Sumgön gives the instruction to always meditate on the sphere of protection as the essence of compassion whenever one arrives at any new place, like any new place that one will be practicing in. So for instance, if one goes somewhere to stay for a time in retreat, then he says it's especially important to do this meditation on the protection sphere as the essence of great love and compassion, and that this, helps to pacify any kind of harmful influences or spirits or potential obstacles that could maybe arise in the area. And so, but mainly it is through the power of compassion. And then in addition to that, we visualize our dwelling place, whatever the retreat cabin or what have you, the place where one is practicing, as a chala, as the wrathful emanation. And that wrathful emanation is nothing other than fierce compassion. So it is the essence of fierce compassion. And then in a chala's heart is Vajra Varahi. We arise in the form of Vajra Varahi. And so whereas Chanrasig and Achala are the nature of the relative Bodhichitta, Varahi is the nature of ultimate Bodhichitta. And so also, as Lord Jigten Sumgen says in the Gongchik, the ultimate sphere of protection, or the most supreme sphere of protection, is Bodhichitta. And so there are many different types of spheres of protection. There's, the various, like for instance, we sometimes visualize it in the more expansive form of, the Vajra tent and net and canopy and Vajra ground with the, masses of wisdom fire as the final layer and so forth. And so there are many different methods of generating the sphere of protection, but at all times, and the essence of these is the supreme sphere of protection, which is bodhicitta.
Oh, then that in Jodra, Ngaransu, Dingenzi, Uncle, and say Jendua. Oh, that Dingenzi, Uncle, and Carisanata, Jatanchina, Tina, Chazachim, I didn't sound the order. No one earth is 17 Yori, then the Chancho Semjayatana Yori, then the Lama Gumiana Yori. Yidamjayana Yori, or Tene, Chazachimbo Gumiana Yori, Jerem Ovada, or Tigan one shit sounded. What that do the best Sabonore, or Tene Tejatanchi and Azuta, want Lana, Salam to what she may on the pancreas, Sada, Yamnachi to Sada, Lam to what she may on the pancreas, or Tene Dipata, Jabati, Jan to Grace, or Tene Lapatu, Tamse Yamcha Jabatu, Jan to Grace. Tamse Yamchak Jabatas were down to Grace. Or to do tapping on Chimp Mambo, or to do, or to Zashimbore, to do things the uncle out. Or that is a Mars on Dutene, Tinjo Tara, Chitan, the Lamdix at Jamdo, near 17, the China, that Tambo, 17 law. Thing is the uncle, the Major Namkas at 17. Nipa says on Yadam set and door, Yadam Chi, take that Yadam can do that, take Gomyador, Lama to Gomyador. Tell Lama one cross it, he won lance a do, Marca Joe Terala, then door, Dorje, he shot at Chimpo, ne, said door. Dorje, Shodan, the Shodan took some Jota, or took some Jota, Dorje, one lance on it. What a Dorje shot at Chimpo, ne, the Ligan shot at Chimpo Gomyachi. What in Joe thing over? Or Jetanchi and Aranso, that's a new Samdi, some did you tell Jetan the Mambo Dongre. The thing on Lafarton, touch out a simple Gumdu, Tandoma Mambo Dongmare, tell Lamazon them that is long. That two Samal thing is the one in the land. Dorje, he charged a simple ne, Servatera, Lieutenant, that Gomja, Gomcasi Jat, two Tisela, Watera Jate, two children, Galaka, the Dayan Rowanams. Your Pandana Mando Joshua and more and door.
So go Gapar?
Or Timova, given the Zumbat.
Jujiba.
Or Jujuat. What in over, what in over cheat, then that's when some kind of this no Bandon see, they mark to Troya, or Tentrichi, or Tendu Techi.
So then the next section is the Samadhi empowerment. And so in the Samadhi empowerment, also all of the 5 stages of the fivefold path are present. So at the beginning, we have the generation of bodhicitta. and we are meditating on the Guru. The Guru, we ourselves are also generating ourselves in the form of the Yidam deity, and we are in receiving the empowerment, then meditating on Mahamudra, and then at the end there's also the dedication. So in this Samadhi empowerment, one is receiving the 4 empowerments, and they're very profound. And through this receival of the 4 empowerments, through the Samadhi empowerment, all of the obstacles, it has the benefit of removing any obstacles or like hindrances to traversing the stages of the paths and bhumis. It also is profound in its power to purify defilements and obscurations, and also to restore any broken or impaired samayas. So it's especially beneficial, this Samadhi empowerment is especially beneficial and profound. So we have, at the beginning, you see this section where there's the generation of Bodhichitta. Then you yourself are arising in the form of the Yidam deity, and then generating the visualization of the Guru also in the form of the deity in front. Then you receive each of the empowerments, and then at the end, on page 13, it says, thus I abide, the last line, thus I abide in Mahamudra, unfabricated primordial awareness. And so one remains for a time in Mahamudra. And actually during the section of the Fivefold Path where you're practicing Mahamudra, there isn't a lot to recite. So the bulk of the time, or the majority of the session, is just spent in the meditative absorption of Mahamudra. So what is recited in the Mahamudra practice is this Samadhi empowerment. So the beginning you recite up to this point, then it says, thus I abide in Mahamudra, the unfabricated primordial awareness, and for the rest of the session you abide in Mahamudra, and then you close the session with the lines of dedication on page 14. By this virtue may I and all other beings swiftly accomplish the glorious Guru, establishing all sentient beings without exception in that state.
That in Joe, that you never were. What that you never la, that and also Kasan Conte on to your Juba, you be true sap, said you are. What that Juba, the kitchen boy chardy or Jubal Marju, the Marapizon or Carzon or Sena. June Lamentini, Juba there. Ranzo China Mumbai is
Lame or Dilla, you're
Mare.
Okay, then in Lame.
Lamentini Juba there. Juba Tantan Scores. Ranzo Chiba. China Mumbai is Ranzo China Mumbai is what to do. Rank say Sodina, Cupares.
Oh, yeah.
What is on Tending as Juba, the kitchen body, or Tendu, that Dorje Chantelo, Narole, China Marta, Tatezabe Lame Horse, the Yamna Chana, Juba Machi, Lama Yamna Chitanduba, Yamna Chichi, Yamna Chuba, the Jumachi was sorry. What Tendu, or Tangazo, Yamna Chana Juba and Rickory. What a man Tatamela repetition, Jundia Lama Matan, one court Cuba, Jellyfans, Jubatan, the Andeli. Lama say Mayuna, Jude, Juba, the end Lama say on Mayuna, Juba maybe Lama say on Shuna Pengimaris. What in do? What is on your wa? What in do you think around so today?
So Juden Lama Wang Shuna,
Judean Lama Martina. One court by Jella Pants.
Okay.
Was on your wa. What do you think around so say Juba, Yamna Chila Juba, do Jimbe, Lama Sama, La Zorwan them, Sangazo, Colodumba, most short of ya. What to do Zorba in the Genete, Chanamjo, Soso Jule, Chanamjo, Tene Yar, Dopan Church, Jay, Colodumba, Yermi, Bachatovia, Yamne, what to do Dopan most short of ya to do Chazirwa.
So the Kilkor, the Lama Jube, Lama Kilkor, Latin, the Kilkor not so Latin?
Color?
Jube
Lama La Zorba Damna, there's also Chinam Jugares.
Okay.
Was also Chinam Jone, Soso chaza chimbo cho ngoro top geres lam riksa ta chaza chimbo cho ngoro top geres
So then next is the short lineage supplication. So just like we had in the Gongchik, the Vajra statement about the importance of lineage, that the Dharma that is endowed with lineage is that which is especially profound. And the importance, we spoke at great length about the importance of relying on a spiritual teacher who holds an authentic lineage transmission. And so also, as is said, the Milarepa Sungyorabe Lamatsini Jubatin. So as Milarepa says, the Lama who is endowed with characteristics is one who holds or who has lineage, authentic lineage. And so to rely just on yourself without that relying on a Lama with authentic lineage is to be confused or to remain kind of in darkness. And so it's very important to rely on the lineage, and here this lineage is still very much alive as the unbroken continuity that has been passed from Tilopa to Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, and so on and so forth up to the present day, up to one's own root guru. And so to supplicate the lineage masters is very powerful in that then one is able to receive the blessings, and then this becomes great fuel or infuses one's practice with power and blessing. And so Milarepa also says, if you don't rely on a guru who has authentic lineage, then what benefit, or if the guru doesn't have lineage, then what benefit is there in requesting empowerment or receiving empowerment? So empowerment is also contingent upon the presence of lineage. So here we have the supplication that is an abbreviated supplication, but in which all of the lineage masters are included. So when we do the lineage supplication, then we supplicate from the heart, and as we receive the blessings and they enter our mind stream, then we can receive or attain the supreme attainment or siddhi of Mahamudra.
Da tin jo la Dorje da chiu ke da rin do Dorje xin la bya tin do. Wa tin du te da pian sa le. Wa da Dorje te Dorje samba ji, chiu te Dorje ni ma ji. Wa te ju xi du do la yin yong ni ma da ba ji na ta chiu ju ya, tin ju do ta tin na kha si wong do. Da nga zu ya bo shen tong da ha ko ma song si ro.
Na?
Ha ti tong da ya wong ha ko ma song si. Wa zo ne ta Dorje qin ha qi ha le, Dorje qin ha.
And so here we have the blessing of the Vajra and Bell. So the Vajra is the nature of Vajra Sapa. The Bell is the nature of Vajra Topa. And so the visualization here is pretty clear and straightforward if you read it. And then we have the mantra, and Drupon Rinchen says he doesn't know, he's doesn't know the exact meaning of the mantra, but then we have the recitation of the mantra.
Da de da shuran jur khire ma chi da khona dem chok khona ngo slam do wa. Wa da namong guru se da ne jor khang che lan ko lo dum be thang ga tu ta nyam slam ba tro nas.
De shodang chu
Jurgu.
Chugu.
90 page 90.
Page 90.
Wa da ne da dem chok nyam ne chi nya je ina se da dum chok ku da a chi kun dong tang han dong yong de le是tang han dong ji. Wa zhe qi nang qiu ba qi nang qiu ba cuo. Da qi nang qiu ba zhen de da nang qiu guo qiu de是. Wa da nang qiu de ke qian bo zai qia de yo de. Wa zhe ne Torma ngong zhou Torma zhong de Dorje qi nang ni yo ruo. Zhe zuo da cuo de da zhe zuo cuo de guo de是. De le yo ji qiu ba dong de qi de Dorje qiu Drama to so go is. What in the day the world, the Tatra Lap, the world, the net and the Yamna Chi Gores on the 어ත네 다들이 마르송데 다라니기 제게 좀 되네 한제제베 고르제와르 초르송도 어다들 개침보 차디오레 그렇게 침보르서는 알아서 다다다 네가한테 지도 다 세고 세고 소세고 그래서는지 담초 담콜로던 바 권도 창세야 요라다 권도 창세한테 좀 콜로던 바 야면 다 차람랑 세고레 가서 공체는 가서 라라 직찬직 바니 사스 라라 직찬 라 직찬이야 냠내치야세 내가 사보레스 송요아 我听就给这中气，现在的给这下中气，其他的，现在我咱这讲，这趟咱dem票，可乐dem票，他拿了上一买着的，差两些呢，在这个是他从是热上来买吧，我是也不是错过的，是这个开心不的是，这个是他这个热上来买吧，说是我也不是错呀，开心不有的是这个呢，我这看的现在这个呢，他你没有来看忙不来呀我的。레가 레마볼레야 어디 레가서 솔치야라 타마바 레가서 지토고 말이스 어제 다 제렘 시보요나 근데 디고 오케이 배창다 신 나추 친합 체야 도르마 친합 체야 초바 친합 체야
Torma
나추 드스요라 대친지 라비아 도르마 친지 라비아 초바 친지 라비아 디 참마데 랑타 기내 조시네 근데 친합 치고레스 때문에 가서 타마와서 시디나 그 진지랍 토고 말했지 어떻게 뉴다니 연구 다시 계제 중진의 개침물의 정도
So then on page 19, so we have the kind of introduction to the actual main part of the sadhana. So as it says, Namo Guru, so that's the homage or prostration. A yogi who wishes to practice in the sadhana of the 5 Chakrasamvara deities should set up the outer and inner offerings. So it's important. So it says actually first you should have, and it also says an image of the deity. So to make sure that you have like a tanka or some form of support, representing the deity, and then one should arrange the outer and inner offerings. And also to have the different tormas ready, so that the tormas and the feast offering substances, the preliminary tormas, the torma, the latter torma, and the inner tormas, and then also to have a vajra, a bell, a damaru, and to sit on a comfortable cushion. And so this is kind of to set up the condition for practice. And then the first thing that comes here is, in a single instant, I appear in the form of the co-emergent transcendent conqueror. So this is the initial kind of instantaneous arising as the enlightened form of the deity. And it's really important here, even though we have like the kind of more in-depth generation stage that comes later on, it's really important here in this initial arising to really arise as the deity and to make sure that it is really a clear visualization. The color, the hand implements, the attributes, everything appears complete and very vivid, very clear. So it's really important to attend to this initial instantaneous arising. So this is like the instantaneous arising that corresponds with miraculous birth. So meaning it doesn't occur in stages, but it's all at once. I arise in the enlightened form of the deity. And so again, it's especially like we shouldn't sort of discard this one and think, oh, it's not so clear, that's okay, I can go on. But actually to really make sure that we really truly arise at the deity at this point. And the reason for this is because then we have a lot of following activities or activities that follow this, where in order for them to really be accomplished, we have to be in the form of the deity. We won't be able to accomplish these activities if we're in our ordinary form. So, for instance, we have to bless the inner offering of the nectar, we have to bless the tormas, we have to bless the offerings. And so in order to actually have the power and ability to bless these substances, we have to do so in the form of the deity. If we're in our ordinary form, then we won't be able to really infuse them with blessing. And so that's why it's especially important here, to really pay attention to this initial arising and to fully arise as the enlightened form of the deity.
Rang can do the Nanchu Gabale Yorua Gabale Nanchu Gabale Yorua Rang can do it. Or tell a maid to Tishi Goshore. Tell Rang Ninkala Hong Yu Bachirwa that's at Tomche Mamamo Tomche Mari Kenda Rohis and Timatewa Kenda Rohis and not Tomche Mari that Tomche Mas and what I can't
lecture take under Rohera.
What I can't do what he Tomche Mas Lapure or Kenda Roti Tarang Nikali Parmambos and Trone Gundo Marbo Chaye Chago Tanyon the Tota Pamon Sidwa or Gundo Marmo Tromok number this year by the way or Tender Mambo Trone then Nanchu needed gate on Yona gate to some bit Tarimbo party. Or gates of sorry on Metoba, Menuba to do some of them. Then the Tromo so ranking colors for Thames on some Rava. Tromo ranking colors 10 minutes, Tatati, the Tony Mikan, this Yambasha is. What in the tin Joe Terata, go Terati, the Euro, Zeta, Joe Home P. Euro.
Tesco, so they tongue Nangla Tessani.
No, they don't mean on never this shot. Or Tene, Tango, Tang, Joe Home P. Euro. What did your Tom Ramada Uris and Tata Digan Carjorgos, Gate for cheap part Janatobia. Gate for cheap part Jonat on that. Kogo Hores, Tadanga to Digan. Gate for cheap part Jans.
That's all. So then the first thing we have here is in the cleansing. So we're cleansing the inner offering or the kapala with the nectar inside. And so the first thing we have here is the recitation of the mantra Om Kandarohe Hong Hong Pe. And so here, what you visualize is you're in the form of the deity, and in front of you is the kapala, the skull cup, filled with nectar. And from the hung at your heart center, countless emanations of the Dakini Kandarohe, or Dumjema, stream out from your heart center. They are red in color, very similar to Vajravarahi, red in color, holding in their right hand a drikuk, or a curved hook knife, and in their left a kapala filled with blood. And they are red and wrathful, and they all kind of go to the surface of the to the kapala, and they banish all kind of impurities and defilements and obstacles and hindrances, just like banishing them to the furthest regions, and then kind of laying a kind of impenetrable kind of field or force of protection so that they can't return. And then all of those wrathful deities then return and dissolve again into your heart. And with that, you become infused with this samadhi that is the union of bliss and emptiness. And you remain for a time in this meditative absorption. And so then at the beginning is Om. Gapar.
Oh,
okay. So at the beginning is Om, at the end is Hong Peit, And so there are kind of different ways to translate the meaning of this mantra. But here, essentially what it means is like, like it has the significance or the meaning of dispelling all like hindrances and obstructing forces.
Ta tin jo tera tari nga ten do om sobawa shida sarva dharma sobawa shudo han sa ten do wa te ta tari khaja rangji tha be chu tamchi rangji tha be nga wo sirwa wa te ko shore ta ti ga na khar rangji tha ba chu tamchi rangji tha ba nga wo wa ti ga na ta kharshi go sana ta se nga so ka ba le je yora thoba de se yora wa te mem hei be nga zam no da thoba na yora wa te mem hei be pa bomba na jang 我在东北讲呢，真的没把钱，东北讲子，但农村就是说这的，俺们那讲的去过的是，俺们那南台北去俺，就是电通俺们那下过的是，我电通俺把下呢，真他们去那件的多出个的是，我在多出比较便宜的是，他们那嘛先把有了，我这是多讲出个的多出个的是，真的马大吧，他们去把讲出个，讲下那个下的个的是。 我他这人马上就他这个做，就他想啊，都是俺是的，忙不用个的哇。但俺上班的，人那的是，俺参加这用多哈真，我上俺这种个嘛，他这个做，俺们的其实的，俺们用我的就是用多下，这人对这样，他上班这块哇，老花叫做嘛的是的哇。你嘛在广州的这当时的，样子拿出俺们用的所讲的，这就讲的上啊，做他这种这个的话下，我听的，人那他说这当他是哪嘛讲的，说上啊没怕我那俺们要过去那，去怕家伙嘛的是吧？
对，sarba人那样。
sarba人吧，有嘛说俺们要过去那是吧？可是成都口话讲的是个哪一面子？去怕家伙嘛的是。
So then we have the Swabhava mantra, and with that, as we said already, the meaning of this mantra is I am the that essence of the pure, which is the pure nature, the pure true nature of all phenomena. So all phenomena is intrinsically pure, and I too am that nature, and so. Then the Kapala is with the recitation of the Svabhava mantra, then it becomes kind of non-conceptual or enters into non-referentiality. And so through the power of emptiness, essentially, the experience of great bliss arises. And from that experience of bliss, that is the union of bliss and emptiness, then this works to counteract or reverse the ordinary, like fixation to ordinary true existence or fixation to phenomena or appearances. And so all impurities are purified with the recitation of this Svabhava mantra. And then from within the state of emptiness, then we have the arising of the 5 meats and the 5 nectars. So if you're new to secret mantra, and if you're new in general to the Dharma, it can be, this practice is meant for those who already have quite a bit of experience in the practice of secret mantra, and have maybe at least done the preliminaries, the Ngundro practices. There is a danger that if somebody who's completely new and is introduced to this, that they might give rise to a wrong understanding, and so there is that kind of danger. But that isn't to say that if somebody is new and they still have pure view and they kind of have this natural inclination to practicing secret mantra and they're able to get the meaning, then there isn't any difference between new and old student. Then it's fine. If someone can practice well, they can practice well, kind of regardless of what level they're at. But there is kind of the risk of, if one doesn't have a lot of experience, then when one first hears about certain aspects of secret mantra, such as the 5 meats and the 5 nectars, it can end up kind of triggering an incorrect understanding, or one can have kind of a mistaken view with regard to what this really means or what it's about.
Then that in on a tombing on the Salando. That tombing on the Yamli Lume Toji things in the wa. Or Lume Toji things to do. No, the what humble. Doa.
The temple, the Gapario.
I should want Jinsaban dot each other.
Nishitamba.
Now that Lume Toji things, Lando. What that humble the lonely. That humble does the pardon by Chasoma.
Oh, Yam Lelung. Okay. They lie your Madara Pechananga, Yam Lelung.
That's the matter, and the Jitan Cage amount. That loom, tumble the lonely.
They love not dig it, Yam Lelung.
Don't be on that does he cause at the pardon by Chasoma. What he on it, that tumble lonely, Roa. Lume to Yam was Diego. That you get Yam Yura. You get Yam was yet long somewhere, that Yam. What a part shune, you get Yam part shune, the long steam course. Should go shall and not show Yura. That should. They go shall the Najin. Jeka sort do more than the Gurgoth job than this. Jeka around the end. Teaching
check out wrong Latin.
Jeka around for the end.
Corchilo.
Or Gurgoth by the lot and the sea. Or then it teaching who ye get Ram Kisandilesi.
Correct?
You get Ram.
Gigi Ram.
Yam, you get Yam Samdile. Or tea only that's it, then say some you job, then send it no yam down. Tell some you by say. Sam, that's a new some long thing for it. Or tea into that no matter to marry the what? Or that makes in court some that humble the ram the tea dana makes some of the ram raw. Ramake my boss. Johnson, the power wood, Shunet and the tea kinala, Carigorcena, making court true zombie. What is Dorje is around the end. Tea used to Ram Sandile. Member says, Rame member the Sandis. What is he? What an air carried no me. What I told about it, Toji said, did that source on that goes on to source on Pola goes on talking warm our home the Yubachi. See, that Mango Jib. The Mango Jib is the Dapa now, the Mango Zombie. The Dapa was now then. What is Yubachi? Jablot in Jablot and Honor to go the Jablot now then. Now, Jill then. Now the Jill. No, Chalot then. What is
so then from within the state of emptiness, so first we have the mandala of wind arises, so it arises from the syllable yam, which is blue in color, the letter yam, and then it transforms into a mandala of wind, which is like a bow shape. Or the shape of a like half moon, and so the kind of the straight side is facing the back, and the round side is facing outward, and the then from that. Then you have, it is marked with the syllable yam, and on either side of the two corners are like kind of flags. Or what kind of that serve the function of like bellows, that kind of have the energy or the function of wind, and then from on top of that, then we have the syllable ram. It is red in color, and it transforms into a mandala of fire, the ram syllable melts into light, and then becomes the mandala of fire, which is triangular in shape. With the point facing towards oneself or inward, and the flat half to the back, and then So then this mandala of fire is marked with the syllable Ram and has the nature of fire. So it's like blazing with fire. And so then you have the arising of the tripod hearth, which arises first from the syllables Om Hung, kind of around around it, and so the syllables of enlightened body, speech, and mind, Om Hung, which transform into human skulls, with the back of the skull facing inward and the face of the skull facing out.
Rangi jeba mi so agar boss yige agar boss rangi jeba mi yige agar boss chi agar boss so shune tobe no yangshin ja chewa dewan somba na marwa yangshin ja chewa dewan somba na marwa chi Torma somba chikarwochi. Detong inmin somba toba tonu jikwasi. That drop mambo miba. Or tonu jikwachi. Or tene
soon my imbachi.
Or the jig gent and Rosarwa. Tom jig drop shirami. Drop mambo. Can you drop mambo? Can you drop major and Rosari? Tendo. Or then Treva round the end of the sea. Treva, the toba and around the end of the sea.
So then you have from the syllable, white ah syllable, which represents the unborn nature or essence, then there arises a vast and spacious or expansive skull cup, which is red on the inside, symbolizing great bliss, and white on the outside, symbolizing emptiness. It is, the skull itself is in one piece, so it isn't like three, sometimes skulls have like three pieces or sometimes many different kind of pieces of skull joined together. So this one is just like one smooth piece, and the forehead of the skull is facing oneself.
Vera sena vera vera rindo vera ta vera sena chichen ki da zong sari ra ta ra sik chi
ra gare
ra sik ra ta yura ma ro le ba song sari le be chi le ba yura ma murwa mute chechu song sari
de chin
chechu karigo da ma
su
ma shute changsim song sarwa changsim song sari techi o te tire te ta de res o te shanga tla tangbo te na rinwa na rwa na de na mima shan song sari na ti korwa ko te hwalang sha tene na go tarwa na go ta te ta sha tene ta ta harwa ha te lambo chi sha go te chi sha song shu sarwa
ku chi
o te sha nga ser gres o te ni ta ji ta sha nga de sing a te rangji ki de sing a te ne do so so nga zo the Tava, the Madaba, Momos and Zido, the Namtok, the Madaba, John, Tavi, they have less also Nipa, one of those your two grace, or over Regna last walk, then Sonshore race, Javarenga Yoro, or Tendu, Tendu race, and got to do your net, Chinjilana, then say Remada, and Yamnat to compare Joyada, or Tendu, those more Jortumia, and to repent all your race on it. Say, man, what a name, me, but Yamnat to compare Rotobia.
So the Kabbalah itself is exceedingly vast and expansive. So we can think of it as this like very spacious and expansive Kabbalah. And then from each of the syllables, so as it says from the state of emptiness appear the wind, fire, and a hearth of skulls, which, and then from that, from arises a vast and wide Kapala. And inside it, then from each of these syllables arise first the 5 nectars. So first there is B, the syllable B, which is feces. And then there's the syllable Ra, which is Rakta, or blood. The syllable Ma, which is brains, the syllable Mu, which is urine, and the syllable Shu, which is Bodhichitta, or the seminal fluids. And so then you have the arising of the 5 meats. So from Na is human meat, or human meat. From Go is cow meat. From Da is horse meat. From Ha is elephant meat. And from Ku is dog meat. So in that way you have then the arisings of the 5 meats and the 5 nectars. And these all become the nature of primordial wisdom nectar. So the meats and nectars have this function of kind of purifying our concepts of pure and impure. Because ordinarily these substances that we think of as impure then become the nature of a primordial purity. They're the nature of emptiness and possess the qualities of the 5 Buddha families once they are consecrated or blessed. And so when we bless the nectar in this way, then it has the benefit of bringing the powers of longevity, freedom from illness, and it also has the power to increase and deepen our practice.
Oh, then that in the home drums and what? Home to mature with somebody.
Michube?
Drum to Namna Songji.
Nanam.
Number Nazi Songji. Then the water in Jung Songji, Rinchen Jung there. Then the Wapa mix Songji. Come to Tonyo to be Songji. Well, that is someone about that's someone about taking Yabangas and someone. Then Yamna Yabochi Tomnan. Doing about that, the Shanga doing out so you hear a more to church, cheat to grace, what and so sure is.
Did see, yes, So then each of these 5, so their meats are marked with the syllables. Hung, so first, Hung is the syllable of Akshobhya, and Brum is the seed syllable of Vairochana. Is the seed syllable of Ratnasambhava. Jim, or Zim, is the seed syllable of Amitabha. And Kam is the seed syllable of Amoghasiddhi. So in this way, when we visualize also their abiding, as the essence of this nectar, the meats and nectars, these syllables of the 5 Buddha families, if we can practice really well in this way, then the nectar becomes the nature, like the completely pure, stainless nectar of primordial wisdom.
That's
So then we can we can leave the teachings
just
here.
only that those in the those in the kitchen bona the chadi res karsana choba chinla da the dorma chinla da so some chinla chingan in the chadi or I think the kitchen bon shadow res sai chini ne tada garsiana mo son surwa o tene tanga so dem cho so gum ngang tin kur din de ru kur ger on de ru kur ger wa wa samsang de ru pan ko na ya bo re kan ru de ru wa the Drupon corner, your race cousin, on Chansem Tempo, Shiramerina, Chansan Yamia, come Chancho Semira, on come Chancho Tempo Mina Yamgere, or did not be a Kakina through Zone, parts of Karim Korchepa, Marizone. Garsan was a Purana, you saw on some something Yawore or Tindu Zunto Rumbochi.
So
Purano is Arwaso. Puran the news Arwa. Or Puran the Drupon Korea or Sarwa, or Tena in corner the race. Jinanga to them job Kakina, the Parzo Jung corner, Shepa Yoma, down Chansem Dembo Mina no.
So Dimcho la Chepario Mare.
Or Tendu that the Zon Killing Antonio ye, or Rumbochi that is into Zone one. Sometimes it's over that social diary, or Chansem Dembo Una. So today, Auntie Chansen Yamia that is Una. Corpores on Surumbochitari. What to do?
Young tea, young decision, Gilapa Dangawagare.
Natarumbo Stone Cult, the Pangas on Edge. This is how don't draw your love me down.
Yeah, that's all. So it's really important to really, this blessing of the nectar is a really important part of the practice. And the reason for that is because the nectar becomes the source of blessing for everything else. So it's with the nectars that we bless the offerings, we bless the tormas, we bless the Gana chakra, and so on and so forth. So everything that gets blessed is blessed by this nectar of the five meats and the 5 nectars, the primordial wisdom nectar. So it's important to really attend to that section well inwardly and really bless the nectar. So then another so I thought he was saying that there was some connection with this nectar blessing with the next part that he said, but he said no, this is just he wanted to share because this is Garchen Rinpoche's instruction that for those who maybe are not so skilled in withholding their drops, their bodhicitta drops, then it is beneficial. So sometimes when we're visualizing the mantra garland traveling between the yab and the yum, and the direction generally for Chakrasamvara is that it goes down out the jewel and into the lotus, and it circles that way. But actually, he said he's seen it in different places where it says that it doesn't matter which direction the mantra turns. So Garchen Rinpoche says sometimes it's good to turn it the opposite direction, which is actually the direction that it turns in the practice of Vajrakilaya. And so it's the reverse, so that instead of going down and out, it's going up. And so that helps to reverse, the kind of the energy, so that if there's danger that you might lose your drop, you might lose the bodhicitta, then instead it's going, that helps to move the energy in the other direction.
Yeah, done.
Okay, page 59. Om Om Ora ombe ombe zambero zanaye hong pei ombe zambero zanaye. Ombe zambero zanaye hong be on sawabudan ragane beza warnane hong pei. Zarvan budan ragane beza warnane hong be.
Creates light. From these rays of light, deities emerge who then act for the benefit of beings. The light then gathers back and dissolves into the home.
On ragane hong be, on ragane hong be. On ragane hong be, on lame hong be. On lame hong be, on kindra hong be. On kindra hong be, on ribene hong be.
The light radiating from the Hong at my heart gathers the protection sphere and charnel grounds into the immeasurable palace, which dissolves into the 4 Dakinis, who dissolve into the Mother, who dissolves into the Father, who then dissolves into the Hong at my heart, which dissolves from the hook at its foot upward into its body, the body into the head into the crescent moon, and finally that gathers into the nada string. The nada too dissolves and becomes imperceptible, settle within luminous clarity, even and vast. Once again, like a fish leaping from water, I arise as the great, glorious Haruka, with 1 face and 2 arms, whose magnificent form appears clearly, but is empty like a mirage.
Tea break for until 4 p.m.
Break till 4?
Can you play mantra?
Just so people know, originally Drupon Rinchen said we won't have breaks, so we will just, can just continue to practice. But then it changed, so he just said now, it's not like you have to take a tea break. If you want to continue in practice, you can, please continue to stay in practice. And if you would like to take a break, go ahead.
4 o'clock.
Yes, I know.
The Soka practice, a brief Torma offering to the Dharma protectors. Sanje Jodan Zojen Jonan La Janjo Bardo Dane Jasunje Dage Jin Zoje Bezonanje Gola Benzer Sanje Rabajo Sanje Jodan Zoje Jonan La Janjo Bardo Dane Jasunje Dage Jin Zoje Bezonanje Rola Benzer Sanje Rabajo.
Page 1. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings.
Zenje danje dewa dan deva jodai dembar Dorje donger dai donger je jodan ra Dorje donger me dewa dan mindar Dorje Nyereng Jadani Tanyola Nebar Dorje.
May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Oi ranye yadai lar sarve tozole jurang kan melon jayam balenge nye jose jatorne jang loi me den de toje de joyan jen ja jena shang er de zeng er jie ba on hun zhan re ai dai dang ma lai ban ban dan jian zi hun xie na wo long ge be lai me bar zi xie xin Gor wen ye zhe be we zi le jian dai mai me jie gen ga zhe da den hong a om zhe le wen zhe de zhe go zhe xie ye san da wan jie wei xie de zhe tan ba ye ye xie de zhe jiang zuo jiu.
Back to page 3. I appear as the Yidam deity. From the seed syllable at my heart emanate Ram, Yam, and Kam. Fire, wind, and water burn, scatter, and wash away the faults and defects of the Torma. Above wind and fire is a hearth of skulls. Above that is a vast and spacious skull filled with the 5 meats and 5 nectars. The 5 meats are marked with Om, Hung, Tram, Hri, and Ah, and the 5 nectars with Mam, Lam, Bam, Pam, and Tam. The wind of the Hung emerges from the nostrils, blowing, stirring, and lighting the fire, which melts and boils the substances. The defects bubble over, and the pure essence fills the skull to the brim. Above the moon disk lid, Hung, Ah, and Om are stacked, one above the other. The light radiates from these and gathers nectars, which merges with the syllables. The 3 syllables and moon disk melt into light and dissolve into the nectar. Thus it transforms into an ocean of wisdom nectar.
文嘞，文这来嘛也单单，干着这就算没做，拿来就真些单单，给人连讲着些。见证这样的
Light radiates from the seed syllables at my heart, inviting the Lama, Yidam, and Dakinis, the protectors and guardians of the Dharma, wealth gods, guardians of the directions, local spirits, obstructing spirits, karmic creditors, and the 6 classes of beings, who then gather before me like billowing clouds.
Aloge ngande nevede shabda padesa. Dorje Bögöje Torma
According to their ranking order, these guests partake of the Torma with light tubes emerging from their Vajra tongues, and thus are pleased and satisfied. Dorje Jala So Walo Meng Adam Bada Sarnyen Jubela Mana Jiro Jegaranga Ye Zozo Zhang Jodobar Sorwan De Zodo Yedan Jaju Nanjudang Nanjala Meje Debe Deje De Zanje Jedang Marna Maya Jumada Denyela Zojarvela Jidwaran Jazar Nyenke Yedan Jengar Jamzuzo Jejero Jekaram Kaye Bende Deja Zodane Mejana Nyezar Dosor Om Awoy Damjin Jamzun Dodojen Bangun Shaje Jaron Zay Cha Zhu Gerja Bei Ma Ne Ta Yu La Su Gun Ge Su Chu Song Chu Ye Zhu Ma Dang Mo Na Jiang Zha Ha Ra Na Xin Jiang Sin Dong Ra He La Bei Er Nui Jin Zai Mar Su Tu Jiang Gur Jie Dur Ma Nam Ye Ye Ro Jie Ka Ram Ka Ye Par Jie Ne Du Zha Gui Zhu Ge Zi Sing Jie Dan Den Ba Sun Xin Per Da Ge Sam Dun Zhe Baran Zu Om A Wei Da Man Du Sen Zang Ba La Noi Jie Nor Da Po Mo Nam Mon Zi Lang An Zang Mar Dang Ri Jie La Ji Ya Yuan Jie Che Jie Tor Man Du Yuan Jie 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 Ro Jie Ka Ram Ka Ye Jie De Long Ju Bei Wan Zu Om A Wei La Le Za Gra Jar Jie Dang Jo 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 So Zang Re Jie Bang Gu Den Jie Zang Ge So Jue Jie Den Bei Tor Ma De
Je Roje Garam Gaye Barje Sola De Jendro Mong A Woy Namsa Barson Joje Ye Je Da Nyo Marane Nanda Je Bar Irene De Dage Da Bungur Je Torma De Je Roje Garam Gaye Da Dun Je Jendro Om A Woy Ge Da Lon Jen Jong Be So Len Jia Be Lun Xiang Gun Da Ga Yin Jue Je Torma De Ye Je Ro Je Ga Ram Ga Ye No Sim Je Ne Ben Sen Je Len Jia Xiang Shen Be Lun Ge Xiang Ge Da Jian Go Wan Zu Om A Woy Zhe Zhe Sim Jin Ta Ye Zu Jue Je Torma Jia Jin De Je Je Rao Je Ga Ram Ga Ye Rang Rang Dong Er Zo Ye Ne Pan De Zhang Sim Di
Page 12. Ho, please consider me. Ho, please consider me. Ho, please consider me. Great Vajra guardian, great black one, Ruka glorious great Bhairava, by nature you are one with Dharmata. In essence you are the same within primordial wisdom, and in character you are equal in unhindered activity. Hero who defeats all unfavorable circumstances, you are the foremost lord of all appearance and existence, and of all gods and demons, wrathful local guardian, great leader of activity oppressors, invincible sovereign of radiant splendor. You protect awareness-holden yogins as if they were your own children, and you assess the absorption of oath-bound practitioners. You are endowed with the radiance of peace, the splendor of increasing, the power of magnetizing activity. You are swift in activities of liberating savage foes and hindrances. Your mighty skill in protecting the teachings is sublime. Powerful Lord, with the name of the one endowed with the mighty Vajra wrath, great warrior god of yogins, please heed me. Please dwell in this holy shrine of enlightened body, speech, and mind of myself, the yogin called Vajraharuka. Please act to conquer the dread of the four maras and all obstacles along my path of supreme bliss, whereby I will accomplish unsurpassed awakening. Please cause me to encounter the Samadhi companion that will guide me on the authentic path. Until I attain awakening, help me to never deviate into mistaken paths with body, speech, and mind, and cause my mind to turn towards freedom and awakening. May all unfavorable circumstances in this world be vanquished. May perfect auspiciousness and goodness pervade and increase. May gods, spirits, and humans be brought under control. And at all times, in every circumstance, may enlightened activities be accomplished according to my supplications. As you are the glory and protector of all wandering beings, please perform activities to grant supreme common cities without obstruction and effortlessly. May I vanquish all unfavorable circumstances, the enemies and hindrances with wrong views and the like. And may perfect auspiciousness and goodness pervade and prevail. Ma-hri, by the power of your compassion and previous aspirations, Mother Achi Chukidroma, arise from the Dharma sphere and look upon me from the space of primordial wisdom. Miraculously descend upon this activity mandala. Mother Achi, Lady of Nanam, powerful Dharma Tara, Wisdom Tara, Samaya Tara, magnetizing goddess, fresh-eating Karma Dakini, noble Lady Tashi Tseringma, Mio Losangma, Teha Drosongma, Tingi Shalsangma, and Chupon Drisangma, protectors of the lineage forefathers, protectors of frightful hermitages, with Samaya, who pledged to protect the teachings of the Kagyu lineage. Your luminous wisdom never fades, your compassion never withholds, your blessings are never far, and your power is unobstructed. All of you, bless us yogins and our retinues through your enlightened body. Bless us through your enlightened speech. Bless us through your enlightened mind. Bless us through your enlightened qualities. Bless us through your enlightened activities. Act so as to conquer adverse circumstances and the dread of the four maras. Please cause me to encounter the Samadhi companion that will guide me on the true path. Thus, until I attain awakening, help me to never deviate in mistaken paths with body, speech, and mind, but cause my mind to turn towards freedom and awakening. May all unfavorable circumstances in this world be vanquished. May perfect auspiciousness and goodness pervade and increase. May God, spirits, and humans be brought under control, and at all times and in every circumstance, may enlightened activities be accomplished according to my supplication. As the glory and protector of all wandering beings, please perform activities to grant supreme and common cities without obstruction and effortlessly. May I vanquish all unfavorable circumstances, the enemies and hindrances with wrong views and the like, and may perfect auspiciousness and goodness pervade and prevail. Jaya, Jaya, Siddhi, Siddhi, Pala, Pala.
Dorje na Bodje, Yendre Jurve Yamsa Le Jengo, Charo Don Son Sen Don Gan Dorje, Gan Dorje Dan Yurnze Kar Jengo, Charje Benje Manin Ta Shatan, Treje Younger Bonya Ten Danje, Marjen Gun Boden Je Sang Atan, Na Bodon Dan Sha San Ben Je So, Ma Mo Xie Wa Gan Xie No Jin Zhe, Bo Nya Le Xi Xia Jin Sam Le De, A Shi Chu Zhe Le Xi Zheng Gu Jie, Zha Xi Se Re Mo Na Jam Zhe Dang, A Ra Men Sen Jar Ji Nam De Se, Zam La Ren A Re Xi Nor Ju Ma, Xin Zhong Ya Yun Sa De Ra He La, Gung A Nu Jin Yang Le Ver, Tan Jie Dan La Zang Ba Ge Ni Ye, Ji Tian Gun Be Tian Ba Zhong Nan La, Jie Tian Da Lo Ya Jie Jin Se Dang, Nan Te Gu Song Du Yun Zhe Le Den, Sang Wa La Du Song Ger Den Be Zhe, Ni Jung Du Yung A Da Ren Jie Den, Zha Xie Zhe Da Zha Bi Ni Jie Dang, Re Ma Jie Zhe Mi Ra Dor Me So, Re Mi Dar Sa Ren Jie Gong Sun So, Go Ge Zang Wa Sang Gun Jor Ba Den, Zhe Ge Jin Be Yi Xian Jie Be So, Tin Song Dam Jie Jiang Zuo So La Mer, So Long Jie Dan Jie Jie Jie, Do Dan Gang O Dan Zhe Nian Jia Xia, Gan Zhe Sur Jie Jie Be Xiar Dun Jie, Zhe Be Da Xiong Zhe Leng Wen Dun Zhe, Ga Jiong, Par Dan Nian Be Zhai Be Sa Sum Jia, Na We Zhe Se Ne Be Ge Bong Dar, Par Jie Jin Dan Xie Ga Bu Dan Do, Jie San De Na Qu Xian Zhe Paran Zu, Jie Tian Sung Gun Qu Jie Ren Jin Jie, Xie Zhe Den Be Sa Xin Cha Paran Zu, Jun Ge Den Si Ga Jia Long Jie Nan, Tam Ji Sung Mara Ni De Zi Wei Zhong, Nanjir jo wen zhe len zhe paran zu san ji ting song kun jo wen pan de gen de jo nanjir ce pa bar nar se zha be dong be la kur dan lon je je pa nye de zu gen me lan su den be le de je me la yam sin de mo che wa dang na war ta de nyen be dam de shen zhe shen e ba na da me zhe shen se gun jo we ron zi chen ba dang le la ring jam de wa ku ne zo ye la nam par ro be ting zin je san me de we na yang ngong paran zu chu zhe chu 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 zhen chu de na tu zhe ma shi zai dong che waran zu pan sun zu ji sa lam zhan chu le zhong dun zu ye pe zha jia chung kun ce wa ju lor na sam du ye xin zhe ba dang da dang da ye sim jin dong jie jie la me zu pe jiang ju zhe ba la gar jin par jie ma le xie wa dang dun jie ma le lin jin zhe paran zu jie gan xie ye lai zhen ba sam jie jiang de ben ge zhe zuo wa ran zai ba ye so ma ye xie nor we ji nan jie da ge sam do ma le alogen goinde nevede shabda bade Sado samaya manabalaya bazar sado denoba tijan jo membawa sudagayo membawa subejayo membawa anarado membawa sarva sede membraya sarva karma suzame sedan jeyagur Oi bangaven sarva tadanga dam bazar mamemens Bezo bawa mai samai sadovai. Page number 33. Oi interne den dai len je do korwa se de joy ne jan ne me se dai wan je zo chon ai le bar zer do zo.
33. Remaining within cyclic existence, fused with this image, please bestow good health, longevity, and power, as well as every kind of excellence. In the presence of the transcendent conqueror, you vowed to care for us practitioners as lovingly as your own child. May the auspiciousness of the Dharma protectors be present.
text, page number 72. So, Sarva Dharma Soba Vaishudha.
73. From the state of emptiness arise Yam, Ram, and Kam. They burn, scatter, and wash away the defilements, faults, and defects of the feast offerings. Above wind, fire, and a hearth of skulls is a kapala containing the feast substances, which are the 5 meats and 5 nectars in essence. As the wind stirs and the fire blazes, the substances become the nature of the 5 sense pleasures. Above the skull, white, red, and blue, Om, Ah, Hung, appear and transform the substances into an ocean of radiant and immaculate nectar. To the root and lineage gurus, the Yidam Chakrasamvara, Viras, Dakinis, and the ocean of oath-bound ones, we present this feast offering endowed with the 5 desirable qualities. Please mend breaches of us yogis with great grant accomplishments.
Ragene Dharma Pala Sabarevar Gana Saira Pujaka.
From the all-encompassing universal field, the unfabricated, unelaborated expanse of great bliss, emanate Samatabhadra offering clouds. These substances, composed of the most perfect elements of samsara and nirvana, bring forth the joy and bliss of the desirables. By offering this feast of outer, inner, secret, suchness, and so forth, fulfill the sacred bonds with Vajradhara, the Lord who pervades the Buddhas of the 3 times with his sons, Talopa, Naropa, and the 8 Mahasiddhas, and grant accomplishments, monks, and scholars. Fulfill the sacred bonds of the supreme Siddhas of Tibet, the land of snow, Marpa, Milarepa, Gampopa, bliss-gone Padmodrupa, Lord of sages, Ratnashri, glorious root and lineage gurus, and all the Kagyu gurus. Fulfill the sacred bonds with Haruka Chakrasamvara, the embodiment of all Sugatas, Vajra Varahi, and the 4 classes of Dakinis, the deities of the 3 wheels, the 8 gatekeeping goddesses, the Yidams of the 4 classes of Tantra. Fulfill the sacred bonds of the protectors of the teachings, Mahakala and his retinue, Achi Chukidroma, the 5 Tsering sisters, and Dharma protectors. Please bestow common and supreme accomplishments. I and all sentient beings openly confess the accumulated faults of the 3 obscurations, and especially the careless breaches of the disciplines of the 3 vows, committed knowingly and unknowingly with ignorant and afflicted minds. By the power of thus fulfilling sacred bonds and offering confession, may I attain the warmth of the 2 stages, and may I reach the summit of the excellent path. May the perfection of the 5 kayas and immeasurable Bodhichitta become the cause of rating beings.
Bezazado Samaya Manabalaya Bezazado Dinoba Dejan Dejome Bava Sudagayo Membava Subejayo Membava Anurado Membava Sarva Sede Membraya Sarva Karma Suzame Siddha Sheyanguro Aoi Bangave Sarva Tatangata Bezar Bhava Ma Samaya Sadhu Bezar Sadhu Samaya Manubalaya Bezar Sadhu Dinova Dejan Dejo Membava Sudagayo Membava Subejayo Membava Anurado Membava Sarva Siddhi Membraya Sarva Karma Suzame Siddha Sheyanguro Mangave Sarva Tadangata Bezar Bhava Ma Samaya Sadhu Bezar Sadhu Samaya Manubalaya Bezar Sadhu Dinova Dejan Dejo Membava Sudagayo Membava Subejayo Membava Anurado Membava Sarva Siddhi Membraya Sarva Karma Suzame Siddha Sheyanguro Aho Bangave Gadam Bajama Mimenza Beja Bhava Ma Samaya Sadhu Sarva Dharma Na Adene Nade De Avan Bezo Sarva Kakai Kahe Kai Ezramba Linda Bajabe So Chakrasamvara text, page number 64. Sarva Dharma Sobhava Shidava Dombe Ngale Loime Dorje je den de ale kabala yan yin ja je wen an de berama me shele de zeng a dan na go da ge le shang a na huan ren zhen gan jian zhen ba jian duo bar wei ye ye je de zhe jiang su jin bo jiu.
Page 64. From the state of emptiness appears wind, fire, and a hearth of skulls. On this, from A, arises a vast and wide Kapala. Inside that, from B, Ra, Ma, Mu, and Shu, arises the 5 nectars, and from Na, Go, Da, Ha, and Ku arise the 5 meats, marked with Hum, Brum, Jim, and Kam. Through purifying, realizing, and flaring, the substances become a vast ocean of wisdom nectar. Pem. The light radiating from the Hong at my heart invites the conqueror Chakrasamvara from the pure land of Akanishta. Together with myriad Viras and Yoginis, they come to the space before me. On the tongues of the assembly of the deities of the 5 wheels are white vajras the size of barley grain. The Torma is offered to the deities by moving it in a circle, to the left for those in the cardinal directions, and to the right for those in the intermediate directions. I bow to glorious Haruka, great hero, utterly pure Vajra Lord, and to Vajravarahi, passionate one for those with great passion.
Gombo Dorje je je lim prajer pa je da lan zo je la mo nam je jin de je ze do so.
Equally victorious over attachment to existence and peace, you have conquered all conceptual thoughts. You see the even, space-like nature of all phenomena. Protector, may the nectar of your heart, infused with your compassion, drench me. Goddesses, please care for me with your great love.
Sarva Siddhi Membraya Yatsinda Yate Bam Yate Dra Punjata Pavata Zendata Madhe Karmata Marma Sarva Kardaya Sesukam Bejudai Sajak Bavindo Hon Be Sova Joy Jin Jong La Da Le No Je Sen Bon Jong Bo Da Cha Za Ye Da Ju Se Da Je Se Kan Zhuo Ma Ne So Zhe Jin Dun Be Torma De Yin Ne Nan Je Da Ja La Chan Je Zhe Be Chun Se Jin Gar Jie Nyen Se Xie Wa Da
Page 70. Om, guardians of the directions, local guardians, gods and hosts of nagas, harm-bringers, bloodthirsty demons, elemental spirits, flesh-eaters, hungry ghosts, insanity inflectors, memory-crippling demons, dakinis and mamos, please accept this Torma offering. Help us yogins attain enlightenment, pacify adverse circumstances, harm and injury, and cause the four enlightened activities to be accomplished.
Samaya Manabalaya Heraga Dinoba Dejan Dejo Membawa Sudagaya Membawa Sudarado Membawa Subhajaya Membawa Sarva Siddha Membraya Sarva Karma Suzame Siddhaya Guru Aho Bangaven Mezahera Gama Mezahera Koba Mahasamaya Sado Oimbe Zahera Gasamaya Manapalaya Hera Gatinoba Dechandra Mebawa Sudagayo Mebawa Anurado Mebawa Subhajaya Membawa Sarva Siddhi Membraya Sarva Karma Siddhaya Guru Aho Bangaven Bezra Hera Kama Memes Hera Kobava Mahasamaya Sadhu Oimbe Zahera Gasamaya Manupalaya Hera Gatinoba Dechandra Membawa Sudagayo me bhava, Anurato me bhava, Subhajayo me bhava, Sarva Siddha Membrayaza, Sarva Kram Suzame, Zidashya Guru, Ahavo, Bangaven, Beza Herogama Memes, Herogo Bhava Mahasamaya Sat. Page number 80. Page number 80.
80? 80.
Jede Panarangene Soje Yeshe Pan Ranila Tembarjo.
Vajramu. The mundane beings return to their own abodes. The wisdom beings dissolve into myself.
Danye Jonden Deso Sarve Nyenga Honghai Karbongo Namahe Serbo Jeso Doso Ahue Marb Chokpanye Sambo Dehe Naibo Menye So Hong Hong Hoe Mars Yela Tamje La Pe Hai Jang Nanje Sambarjo.
I appear as the transcendent conqueror. At my heart are white Om Ha. At my head yellow Namahi. At my crown red Svaha Hu. At both shoulders black Vausat-he. At both eyes crimson Hong Hong Ho. And at the limbs green Pe Hum.
Sambane Sambane Hoi Be Hoi Drana Drana Hoi Be Hoi Drana Baya Drana Baya Hoi Be Anaya Wo Banga Vembes Hoi Be Son Jojo me Garai Lam Jore Chabdan Gorjela Panzo Baryo Zayang Avete Jodan Rodop Trashi Zor Yen Dorje Zumo Kandre Zoe Tejian Kolo Wamon Dragaje Yirje Yirjon Jamzu Zonanje Jodan Rodop
Supreme Deity, illusory dance of union endowed with the 7 aspects, Lord who pervades the 100 Buddha families and your retinue, through the force of your inconceivable, perfect, abundant qualities, please bestow the auspiciousness to attain common and supreme accomplishments. Dharma Dhatu, Vajra Queen, foremost Dakini and the 4 Dakinis, powerful goddesses who rule the wheel of great bliss, an ocean-like assembly of protectors who guard the 24 holy sites. Please grant the auspiciousness to attain common and supreme accomplishments. By this virtue and by the power of whatever virtue is amassed in the 3 times in samsara and nirvana, may I and all beings without exception, limitless as the sky, accomplish the victor, King of delight.
86. English.
Oh, 86. Exalted Supreme Deity, victorious Chakrasamvara, if I practice you with one-pointed devotion, let your compassion neither wane nor be indifferent, but swiftly reveal your delightful sublime face. Through practicing the key points of settling into the state of controlling and binding the channels, winds, and drops of my impure, illusory body, may it become free of obscurations, undefiled and clear, and may I attain the supreme accomplishment in this very life. If due to a lack of fortune and diligence, I am not freed in this life, then at the time of death, may the assemblies of Viras and Dakinis of the 5 wheels, such as skull pieces and the rest, receive me with parasols, victory banners, and a symphony of music, and various offering clouds, and then lead me to the pure field of Kachara. There may I behold the face of the victorious Heruka. In that field may I practice diligently the supreme swift path of the secret mantra, and thereby cleanse the 2 obscurations and all karmic traces. May I accomplish the unified state of the supreme Vajra body endowed with the 7 aspects. Although I may attain the Dharmakaya for my own sake in this way, out of immeasurable compassion for all mother beings, may my 2-form emanations show from the teachings of the supreme vehicle, and thus may I swiftly establish them in the state of the Vajra holder. By this virtue may I swiftly accomplish the divine assembly of Chakrasamvara deities, and establish all beings without exception in that state.
Yellow book, page number 13 in English.
Page 13. By this merit may I attain omniscience. Having defeated the enemies, my wrongdoings, may I liberate all beings who are tossed in the ocean of samsara by the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. By the merit accumulated in the 3 times by myself and all beings, and by the knowledge we have gained, may all sentient beings of the 6 realms without exception realize the primordial wisdom of the 5 Bodhichitta in the Dharma Dhatu mandala of the awakened mind. Precious, glorious root guru, seated on a lotus at my heart, hold me with kindness and bestow accomplishments of body, speech, and mind. Pray for the excellent health of the guru. I pray for the guru lives a supremely long life. I pray that the guru's activities spread far and wide. Grant blessings they may not be separate from my guru. May the Buddha's teachings, the only source of benefit and happiness, endure long. And may the lives of those upholding the teachings remain steadfast like victory banners. May the sound of the great Dharma drum liberate all sentient beings from suffering. Please remain and teach the Dharma for infinite millions of kalpas. By the force of this powerful merit, may the aspirations of the benefactors and their circles be accomplished within this very life. May obstacles be pacified. May everything be auspicious, and may their wishes be fulfilled according to the Dharma. Through this virtue, may all sentient beings in the 3 realms and all deceased who wandered in the bardo abandon taking birth in the evil states and attain the happiness of higher rebirth. Just as the hero Manjushri realized things as they are, so too did Samattabhadra. I will follow in their path by perfectly dedicating all these virtues. Since all such dedications have been praised as supreme by the Buddhas of the 3 times, I perfectly dedicate all my roots of virtue towards excellent conduct. By the blessings of the Buddhas who attain the 3 kayas, by the blessings of the truth of the unchanging Dharmata, and by the blessings of the undivided Sangha order, may my aspirations be fulfilled according to this dedication. By the power of the 3 jewels truth, by the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the power of having fully perfected the 2 accumulations, and by the pure and inconceivable nature of the Dharma Dhatu, may these prayers be fulfilled accordingly. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, precious, perfectly complete awakening. Great Vajradhara, Talopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Pagmadrupa, and Lord Drikumpa, may the auspiciousness of all the Kagyu Lamas endure. This For this realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, Lord Chenrezig, may your life remain steadfast until the end of samsara. Embodiment of the three jewels, great being who upholds and increases the teachings of the Shakya lion, you perfectly guide others with your excellent deeds. May you, the precious Guru who accomplishes everything, spontaneously live long. Holder of the teachings of Lord Drikunpa, great sovereign of the three jewels, through the power of your peerless compassion and the holy Dharma's peaceful light, you bring relief to beings. May your life be long. Known in the noble land as Aryadeva, you emanated into the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Chudingpa, the heart son of Jigten Gompo. May the life of the glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 aeons.
Page 26.
26. May the teachings of the great Drikunpa Ratnashri, Master of Interdependence, omniscient Lord of Dharma, who has seen all knowable things, be upheld through teaching and practice, through hearing, reflecting, and meditating, until the end of existence. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 wheel-turning kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate aeon. Your love is boundless like space. I supplicate to Bodhisattva Chenrezig.
Thank you.